roll call
Naka-mute na.
and the declaration of quorum.
Good afternoon, everyone. So here are the attendees for today's pre-procurement conference for the contract 26 RJ 0028. Present today is the back chairperson, Engineer Christian George B. Paldi, back vice chairperson Bernard Z. Duran, back regular members Ivan John V. Diang, Engineer Francis Dale G. Libuto, Engineer Alan P. Mahitay, back provisional members Engineer John Carl O. Tambahuyot, and Engineer Rex and Impal. For the back TWG head, Engineer Ernie P. Bungot, and the back TWG members, Engineer Jenna M. Sugabo, Engineer J. Vincent C. Palin, Engineer Dennis A. Tumala, Arcely M. Katipay, Engineer Regal Kent B. Bicoy, Engineer Dexon Franz L. Paglinawan, Engineer Jeff M. Buhelonsod, Engineer Angelo B. Dolera, Engineer Dominic B. Niala, and Engineer Ernesto S. Remoyo Jr. For the back secretariat head, we have Engineer Elsa C. Humadla, Engineer Donna May Rose G. Loran, yours truly, Maria Estrella Gracia Remoyo, Engineer Connie E. Ojales, and Gladys Marie M. Maligay. Since majority of the back members are present, therefore the back is in quorum.
We have been having the back in quorum, so this pre-procurement conference is now called to order. So our agenda for today are the following. Number one, presentation of the description and scope of the contract, the ABC and contract duration to be presented by Engineer Miguel. Number two, confirmation of consistency of proposed contract procurement with PPP and APP to be presented by Engineer Ivan Diang. And 3A, availability of appropriations for the procurement activity in the contract to be presented by Engineer Bernard Duran. 3B, completeness of bidding documents and their adherence to relevant general procurement guidelines to be presented by Engineer Franz Paglinawan. 3C, completion of the legal engineering according to the prescribed standards in the case of infrastructure projects to be presented by Engineer Donna Duran. 3D, confirmation of the availability of right-of-way, site, or location, and the possession of affected properties subject to Section 8 of RA 12009 to be presented by Engineer Jeff Buhelonsod. Then review, modify, and agree on criteria for eligibility screening, evaluation, and post-qualification to be presented by Engineer Dennis. And review and the adoption of the procurement schedule to be presented by Engineer John Carl Tambahuyot. So to start with agenda number one by Miguel Bicoy.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Contract ID 26 RG 0028. Locally funded projects, national building program, buildings and other structures. Multipurpose facilities, construction, completion of DPWH, Siquijor District Engineering Office, DEO building, phase 4, Maria Siquijor. With appropriation of 15 million pesos and with an ABC of 49 million. With calendar days of 270 days with a major category of BICWO PLC building construction without piles, low-rise, concrete frame, 1 to 5 story. Physical target, 3 story.
The project is included in the approved final PPP and consolidated in the EPP. The EPC reflected in the final EPP has been updated and revised to conform with the revisions in compliance with DO 43 series of 2026. The major category is appropriate to the nature of the project and consistent with the approved final PPMP and consolidated in the EPP. The work description, scope, and specification are aligned with project requirements stated in the PPMP. Thus, the proposed procurement activities are fully consistent with approved procurement planning documents.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. For the availability of appropriations for the procurement activity in the GAA, so the budget allocation of the projects are included in the FY 2026 official list of DPWH projects based on the approved FY 2026 GAA Republic Act 12314, and we issued approved sub-allotment advice for the SAA. The funding requirements are sufficiently in place to proceed with procurement.
Good afternoon, everyone. For completeness of bidding documents under adherence to the general procurement guidelines, bidding documents have been prepared and are submitted for review and approval. Said documents conform with the standard bidding documents issued by GPPB per resolution number 03-2025 in accordance to the MGPA RA 12009. All mandatory provisions, eligibility requirements, and technical specifications and contract conditions are properly included.
Good afternoon, everyone. For the completion of the detailed engineering according to the prescribed standards in case of infrastructure projects, the detailed engineering for the aforementioned project has been completed. Plans, design, computations, specifications, and estimates comply with prescribed DPWH standards and specifications for infrastructure projects, and projects are technically ready for procurement implementation.
Once again, good afternoon. For the confirmation of the ability of right of way site or location and the position of affected properties is subject to Section 8 of RA 12009. Project sites have no road right of way issues and no private properties should be affected. And project sites are available and free from legal or physical impediments to implementation.
With regards to the criteria for eligibility screening, evaluation, and post-qualification, we, the end user or implementing unit, have determined and resolved to adopt LCRB or the lowest calculated responsive fee as the criterion in the procurement of the aforementioned projects.
Further review and adopt the procurement schedule, including deadlines and timeframes for the different activities. The procurement schedule, including deadlines and timeframes for the different activities presented, will be adopted as follows. The pre-bid conference will be held on July 23, 2026. The deadline of submission or dropping of bids will be on August 4, 2026 at 9:30 a.m. And the opening is on August 4, 2026 at 10 a.m. The complete set of bidding documents will be acquired from July 15, 2026 up to August 4, 2026 at 9 a.m. That's also.
Okay, thank you everyone. So, since the description and scope of the contract, the ABC and contract duration has already been presented, the consistency of the proposed contract requirement with APP and PPMP is confirmed. There is availability of appropriation based on the GAA. Bidding documents under adherence to relevant general procurement guidelines is complete. detailed engineering according to the prescribed standards in case of infra is also complete. Then availability of right of way is also confirmed. Then the criteria for eligibility screening, evaluation, post qualification is determined and resolved to use the LCRB. Then the procurement schedule has also been reviewed and adopted as presented. Therefore, the invitation to bid for the project 26RJ0028 is hereby approved. Okay, do we have any questions? Okay, hearing none. So, may any motion to adjourn? So it has been moved and seconded. Therefore, since it has been moved and seconded, therefore the procurement conference for 26RJ0028 is hereby adjourned. Thank you and good afternoon, everyone.